time for Stump the Creator. Hey, Zach Edwards here with this Minisode Monday, where I'm going to answer some questions from today for Stump the Creator is Josh. Josh had sent me a list of questions that he wanted answered as part of Stump the Creator. So here you go. First off, number one, what if you play John Hawkins? What if you play John Hawkins is played, but you have played U.S. slavery card? Do you still lose morale points? Okay, so first off, I did sneak a peek at this first question. I was just like, okay, I want to know where I'm going to go, and I got the book together, basically the encyclopedia of all of the Historical Conquest cards, and I'm like, who in the world is John Hawkins? He might have just stumped the creator, because I have no idea who this guy is. And then I remembered, okay, so he's not an explorer, I know that. He wasn't an activist, or sorry, he wasn't an activist. He wasn't a leader. And then I thought, oh, wait a second, explorer, I know he's an explorer. So, popping open to the explorer portion of this, Sir John Hawkins. Hawkins discovers a new land for you, but due to slavery, you lose 200 morale points. Okay, so his question was, but you have played U.S. slavery. Okay, if you played U.S. slavery, that's fine. Due to slavery, you lose an additional 200 points because his ability does not have to do with anything else. It's not saying if you played the slavery card, it's saying because of slavery, could be anywhere in the world or such, basically it's because of his history, you lose 200 morale points. So you lose 200 morale points. That's the answer for that one. Number two, U.S. House of Representatives. So if you remember, U.S. House of Representatives organization, this one actually has to do with, trying to find the ability, so I can actually read it. Okay, U.S. House, next page. It says, if your opponent's morale points fall below 0 for 2+ rounds, you win. If your opponent plays the Senate card, this card must be discarded. Okay, so yes, it says U.S. House of Representatives. If playing against more than one player, would you win the whole game, or would you just play whose morale was below 0 be eliminated? So according to this card, it says if your opponent's morale, opponents being one opponent, his morale falls below 0 for 2 rounds, it doesn't say that person's eliminated. It says you win. Ultimately, everybody at this point with that card in play needs to be thinking, how do I get that guy, get his morale up, or that girl, get her morale up? Yeah, that's right. So when the U.S. House of Representative card is played and somebody gets their morale below 0 and it goes past 1 round, ultimately you should be thinking, how do I get them up? Now remember, you can play interrupt cards for another opponent, even if it's not for your battlefield. You can also increase their morale as well. Yeah, that's right. If I have a card like the Gutenberg Press, I can gift that to them. I can get them to increase their morale. So, in this way, we need to figure out ways of helping that other player. Now, you can't trade cards, but you can play cards for other people. You can teach them but it has to be completely above the board. You can't trade and swap cards during it. So just like you can help someone in a battle, you can also help someone with keeping their morale up. So that's question number 2. Number 3, Isabel Bumfrey. What if your morale is less than 500 points when played? Do you move it up to 500? So I've answered a few of these on YouTube. Isabel Bumfrey, the Pope, there's Joseph Smith, there's a lot of different people. No, automatically, you do not get to move it up to 500 if you're not there yet. You have to wait until you get to 500, and then you don't go below 500. So if you're at negative 500 and you get the Pope, ultimately you will not be able to jump up 1,000 points, because I mean 800 is your max. You can't just jump 1,000 points. Being you're at negative 500 and you're going up to 500, you have to make it all the way up there to make that ability apply. The next one is Scotland. How does one double their attack strength if only when defending? Ooh, you. Wow. Gotta look this one up. Does it actually say that? And if it does, you're the first person that's ever brought this up. It's not a stumper. I mean, that's just bad wording. But let me see. Scotland. Double any Viking character or army card's attack and defense strength when they defend Scotland. Okay, so yeah, it's bad wording there, but at least it does say attack and defense strength when defending Scotland. Yeah, you don't usually, well, actually, let's go to the rules. There's some cards in here that will actually allow you to defend with your attack points. So if that rare occasion comes up, then this card makes complete sense. So if per se you're defending Scotland, but you're using your attack abilities because one of your cards say you can, ultimately this card makes complete sense and you can double that strength. So there you go. Hopefully that makes sense. Number 5. This is all still from Josh. So CIA. Must one reach over and remove a card from an opponent's battlefield within 10 seconds from when the card is played? No. So good question. You don't have to remove it. You just have to state what your decision is. So basically, as soon as you're about to play CIA, don't play it until you know exactly what you're going to do. The whole 10, 9, 8, 7, and the countdown is basically a joke. Because it's like Mission Impossible, MI6, where you have to play this card within 10 seconds. James Bond, where his device, the recording device that tells him his mission, would explode in 5 seconds. So that's the joke there. But in 10 seconds, you have to be able to explain what you want, which card you want to be discarded. So you better make the choice before you play that card. Number 6. If you have played Pythagoras of Somos, but then played Benjamin Franklin or a like card, would the technology still be considered your opponent's for it came from their deck and be returned to them after the game? Okay, no matter what, you need to decide before the game whether it's a keeper game or you're going to get back all the cards that you take from your opponent. That's one thing. Another thing is, let's go to the philosopher or mathematician. Let's see. Pythagoras. Okay, he's not a scientist. Okay, so I was right. He was a philosopher, I think. There we go. Pythagoras. And I'm wrong again. Darn it. I might actually have to pay up for this one because I can't figure out Pythagoras. Or was I right? I went back to the scientists. Pythagoras. Pythagoras. Uh-oh. Don't tell him he just stumped me. I don't know my own cards. Man, I wish this was live stream and you could answer which one he was. I know somebody is shouting at me, "It's this! It's this!" Guess what? Over YouTube, I can't hear you. So, Pythagoras, he's not an explorer. I didn't think he was a conqueror. Maybe I'm just missing him from my deck, or my book. Oh! Sorry, mathematician. I think I said that at the beginning. So, Pythagoras says, Pythagoras allows you to use the ability of one of your opponent's technology cards. Okay, so Pythagoras lets you use the ability of that one opponent's card. But his is, what if Benjamin Franklin, who was the scientist, okay, going to Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, my good friend Benji, take one active technology or knowledge card from each of your opponents. Okay, so Benjamin takes them, Well, Pythagoras uses the ability. So, again, let's answer the question. If you have played Pythagoras of Samos, but then played Benjamin Franklin or like card, would the technology still be considered your opponent's for it came from your deck and be returned to them after the game? Okay, so, sorry, didn't understand that at first. Okay, so Pythagoras lets you use it. If someone gives it that technology card that you're being able to use, there's your ability. You only get to use it once. Pythagoras does not say that you get to use ability every time. It just says, allows you to use the ability of one of your opponent's cards. So if you use the abilities and then all of a sudden you get that card from your opponent because you play Benjamin Franklin, it's done. That's your one. You had one chance. That card is now yours, so you don't get to switch over to another one. Hopefully that answered your question. And the last one, Tsar Nicholas, what if you don't choose to attack your opponent's land? Must the opponent always choose to save his charter? This charter. Okay, I'll have to look it up. Meaning, if someone also plays the Berlin Wall on them with Tsar... Meaning, if someone also played Berlin Wall on them, this Tsar, must he be saved? Okay, I have to look this up because I'm not understanding the full question. Tsar Nicholas was a leader. Tsar. I guess he would be in the T's, right? Tsar Nicholas, there you go. Can call in help from an outside army in your battlefield for one turn, but only claim half of their strength. So another army can come inside from your battlefield into that land and defend, but only for half the strength. So if it has 3,000, you only get 1,500 of it. So the question again is, what if you don't choose to attack your opponent's land? Okay. Must the opponent always choose to save this charter? Okay, you're stumping me on the question. I'm trying to figure out what you mean by this. Meaning, if someone also played Berlin Wall on them with Tsar, must he be saved? Oh. So, if someone plays the Berlin Wall, Tsar Nicholas, his ability doesn't apply. Because you're using an army to do what? Berlin Wall was an event. So the Berlin Wall comes down, Tsar Nicholas is out. He has to be discarded with everybody else. So I'm hoping that answered it. Josh, if it doesn't answer it, please send me a follow-up email asking the question in a different way. Sorry if I didn't understand. And there's a bonus question, not for the stumping, he just wants to know. October Revolution. Is this good for the game, or must it be discarded after one round? Or until you play a king, queen, or emperor? Okay, so I know what this is, but I want to read the abilities for you. So going over to October Revolution. Oh, there were some documents. It's an event, right? And if it's an event, then why is it not here? Okay. October Revolution. It's not a location. I thought it was gray from what it looked like, but it's not. I remember the history of the October Revolution. Oh, you're coming close to stumping me. Or maybe it's just not in where it's supposed to be. Okay, give me a second while I look through all of these cards and see if I have it out of order. October Revolution. Oh, it's right there staring me in the face. It says immediately discard all kings, queens, czars, or emperors in play. So the question, is this good for the game? Well, an immediate card is basically you have to play it immediately one time. So at that time, as soon as you play that card, all kings, queens, czars, and emperors are discarded. They don't discard every time someone plays it. Make no sense. October Revolution was a one-time thing, then it ended. So if that happens for that within that round, or within that turn, that person has to replace or remove those people, discard kings, queens, czars, or emperors. Josh, great questions. You came close to stumping me, I think 3 times. Mostly because, 1, my cards were out of order, and 2, actually, maybe it's because I can't spell, but 2, because I couldn't figure out where these guys were. Mathematicians, scientists, and philosophers sometimes have me question which one the older ones are. So thank you so much for joining me on this Stump the Creator. I might actually cut these longer ones in half and use them for 2 weeks, because this is now 16 minutes and it's just really long. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of these questions. If you have any more questions, the challenge is up. The gauntlet is out. Challenge me. Double dare you. Especially if I can't find the card. I would have sent him something special. But not yet. So please, send me more questions. I'd love for you to try to stump me. This actually helps out, because when we print the next time, if there are errors in the wording, or maybe that the questions or the abilities are a little off, we're going to make them right. So join us again next week. Stump the Creator. Tomorrow, Tutorial Tuesday. Have a great day. Take care. Bye. If you have any comments or questions, add them to the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow, actually. Take care. Bye.